I'm Liz Shore with a special GNN report on Caroline Clifton, who has received a special internship at the Smithsonian Museum. Caroline Clifton will be traveling around with other students from across the nation to Washington, D.C. Clifton before this has received an internship at the Freedom Center in Cincinnati. Here she is now with more information.
I'm Caroline Clifton. I'm in 11th grade. Ever since I was a little kid, my mom would read fascinating history books to me and my siblings because we were homeschooled. And I've just always loved history. We would go do projects in our yard, like build a teepee or something like that. And those projects from the time I was little really sparked my interest in history. I'd like to be a museum curator because they travel, and I love to travel. Also, museum curators get to speak with people. It's a very interactive job, and they also get to learn all about history and different artifacts. So those are all things that, those are all skills that I have developed, and I like to speak to other people. I like to share history in every way that I can, so I figured this would be a perfect field for me. I'm hoping to go to George Washington University in Washington, D.C. I am deciding on my major right now, either to be my master's or my graduate degree will be in museum sciences, but I'm trying to decide if I want to take an archaeology major, which would be a more scientific route, or if I would like to do just a history major, so either one of those, but then I'd go to grad school for museum sciences. But at the Freedom Center, I was able to meet some really neat people who were from all different walks of life, and the kids that I got to work with, my coworkers, they were incredible, and they were very smart and funny intellectuals, so I'm glad that I got to meet them. The experience that I gained at the Freedom Center was public speaking. That really helped. I learned how to be a better public speaker and how to help an audience understand history. And also, I got to really voice different opinions, like modern opinions. So we would take them through the Slavery in Today's World exhibit, which displays how there are still different forms of slavery in today's world, whether that be racism, sexual trafficking, child labor. Those are all forms of slavery, and so I was able to talk about contemporary times and how we still struggle with problems today. So I think that that will help me going into the Smithsonian because I was able to stay up on current events and stuff like that, so I think I could be marketable for them. Yes, I have been to the Smithsonian museums. I went just recently, last summer. I went to Gettysburg first, and then I went to Washington, D.C., and I got to see all the Smithsonians on the National Mall, so that was something really interesting for me. I love museums, and, well, obviously, and my favorite museum that I've ever been to, though, is actually not a Smithsonian. It was the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. That showcases the Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. So I really loved that museum because I was just able to see a whole bunch of really famous artwork. But yeah, I love the Smithsonian's, and I'm looking forward to getting a personal tour, a more intricate tour of the Smithsonian's this next summer when I go again. I think that it feels like it's not even real. It just feels like imaginary because, you know, I don't think of myself as like an elite person or anything like that. So I think it's very humbling to be like able to be 1 out of 25. And I think it's also a really neat experience for me because when I think of myself and my experience, I think that I'm very limited. But I do get this really great experience, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I think that I feel humbled to be 1 out of 25. Mrs. Gadio got me my internship at the Freedom Center. We went on a field trip with the second graders, and our APUSH class did. And we were able to go and look all around the museum, and I fell in love the first time. It was the first time I had been in years to the Freedom Center. So I was really excited about it, and Mrs. Gadio was talking with our tour guide, who also happened to be the education director, Miss Tyra Riley. And Tyra said, oh, we have a program here for the youth, and you guys might want to take a look at it. And Mrs. Gadio said, oh, I have someone who might be interested in that. So thank you to Mrs. Gadio. You're one of the most inspirational people I've ever met, and she helped me get my job, and she also helped me kind of figure out my career path with my love of history. So I give it all to her.
Here's Ms. Gadio with a few words about Caroline.
Hi, my name is Hillary Gadio and I teach American History, AP American History, and Government. She has worked really hard. She loves history. She's a phenomenal student. Oh, I think it gives you an opportunity to explore something you're interested in, plus you're out there in the public eye, so you have to kind of learn how to introduce and get people engaged in a topic, and I think that's a useful tool. You also will learn a ton about it, and you'll have people who will come in who will add things to it, so I think it's a great learning experience, not for the museum goer, but for the museum expert. I think she's intelligent and she's willing to learn, and I think she's a people person. You know, she's kind of got the gift of gab, so she likes to be out there, she likes to talk, you know, she's very comfortable in that role. And you know, she loves history, so she's enthusiastic about it. So you combine all those things, and I think she's a great fit for the program. Well, first of all, get yourself to a museum. There's a lot of opportunities in and around Cincinnati. Learn about the topic, you know, find an interest into it, find a passion into it, and start asking questions. You know, this came about when Caroline went to the museum and we began asking questions, and we had a good tour guide ourselves, and so it kind of evolved from there. So, no, and I will tell you one more tidbit is that Caroline is with a group of kids, all those kids in A-Push from last year and the year before, and I think that motivates her. You know, there are alumni in this building rocking around, A-Push alumni that I think have created an atmosphere where American history is cool.
Through Clifton's hard work and dedication, she has earned these internships on her own. However, Goshen High School also offers more internships.
My name is Mark Edwards. I'm the Director of College and Career Readiness here at Goshen Local Schools. So the really interesting aspect of what Caroline did, number one, she sought out an opportunity that she had an interest in. She's developed a passion for history. She looked for opportunities to utilize that passion to help fulfill some of her goals. So one of her goals is to become a museum curator. So as she looked out and she sought out a museum that had a program that allowed her to find out more information about the passion that she has. So when she got on with the Freedom Center in downtown Cincinnati, she didn't know exactly where it was going to lead, but that one connection that she had actually ended up leading to more possibilities and the opportunity to be on with the ambassadors with Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C., which is an absolutely phenomenal opportunity for someone that has that passion. Absolutely. I think all students should look for opportunities to take their passion that they have and try and expand their network in that passion. We provide a lot of internship opportunities for students. She ended up going out on her own, but we are more than happy to help students to really devote themselves to working on their future. So if a student has a specific interest in whether it's engineering, information technology, computer science, medicine, whatever it is, we would like to really link that student with that desire to learn more about possible occupations they can have in the future.
As you can see, Goshen High School has a lot of opportunities with internships with well-known institutions. We wish Caroline Clifton the best of luck in her internship to Washington, D.C. This has been Liz Short with a special report.